Welterweight Paddy Donovan is searching for closure, and he's going to have an opportunity come this Saturday, September 13th in the UK, as he takes on Lewis Crocker for the second time. You see, the first fight they had ended in a controversial DQ administered against Donovan in a fight that he was winning handily. How did we get here? And why is it now interesting to tune in for this rematch? Let's talk about it a little further. Sometimes it's okay to get in and try to correct your wrongs. And that's exactly what Paddy Donovan is going to try to do when he faces Lewis Crocker for the second time for the vacant IBF World Welterweight title this Saturday, September 13th. The first fight ended with Donovan being disqualified. Now, DQs happen in professional sports, but when a fighter brings it upon himself, you just have to wonder, question, what's going on psychologically with the fighter? Because in this instance, Donovan was meeting his nemesis, beating him, boxing. He was putting on a clinic. And as he found the fight easy, he was just maybe bored. I don't know. You would really have to ask the man in private settings, because he's not going to talk about that publicly. But it was very interesting how the battle played out. He was busting Crocker up pretty much with a skill of boxing technique and having his way. But every once in a while, along with the action, he'd mix in an elbow after evading a shot. He would mix in a low blow and a headbutt. And I was wondering, I was like, what's going on with this guy? Because the referee found himself warning him. You know, referee Marcus McDonald, who's had his druthers. He hasn't been the best of referees, but on this night, Donovan pretty much forced him into officiating the fight where points were taken for the infractions, and Donovan didn't seem to care. That's dangerous. But it wasn't like he was being mean-spirited with it. It just came along with the execution of shots. A jab, a body shot. Now, as the battle went on, we saw that Crocker was cut over both eyes from punches. And so he was beginning to look the worse for wear. And Donovan, as I stated, was having his way. It really, appears that at the end of the day, he just got bored. Maybe he found it was too easy. You would really have to find out from him. But the fouling, the mauling, all of the terrible tactics were unwarranted because, as I stated, he was looking pretty sharp. He was beating Crocker quite easily. And so after this fight with the DQ, Crocker's record now going into the rematch is 21-0 with 11 KOs. Donovan will be bringing his record of 14-1 with 11 KOs into the rematch. But will he be able to discipline himself? Will he be able to stave off from fouling? They're still going to fight in the UK as they did the first go around. In the first fight, it was held at the SSE Arena in Belfast. This rematch is going to be held in Windsor Park. Now, the IBF welterweight title that they're fighting for was vacated by Jaron Boots Ennis, who moved up to super welterweight. So this is an opportunity for either man to come up, to become world champion. And I figure Donovan is going to fight a bit different this time. I figure he's going to be a little bit more focused. He kind of knows what Donovan brings as far as punching power. And at the age of 28, he's 2 years senior to Donovan. And they're both 5'9". There's also the fact that Donovan is a southpaw, to Crocker being an orthodox fighter. When the fight ended, Donovan tried to say that the referee took his fight away from him. And I remember yelling out that was bull, man. You took the fight away from yourself. I had never seen a guy just collapse like that during a fight psychologically, unless you want to go back to what Mike Tyson did when he had that terrible rematch with Evander Holyfield, or even his situation with Franz Botha when he was trying to break Botha's arm in a clinch. It was like Mike Tyson seriously became unwound as he went further into his career. It was really a weird thing. Like I said, Donovan didn't display this disposition with evil. He just seemingly was affable. It was like he was doing things, but not realizing that he was jeopardizing himself in the fight. He was deducted a point in both the 6th and 8th rounds for intentional headbutts. And in the 8th round, referee Marcus McDonald, after Crocker had been dropped and rose inside a count, allowed the fight to continue. And when the bell rang to end the round, Donovan continued to punch after the bell in combinations. He didn't throw one, he threw several, forcing Marcus McDonald to DQ him post the bell of the 8th round. A weird state of affairs, people. And I tell you this, that this is why I always talk about watch boxing, because you'll see things, sometimes unforeseen, but at the same time, it gives you an education of everything that can happen within a boxing match. Neither one of these guys would have been favored against Jaron Boots Ennis if he had decided to face one of them, which I thought that he should hang around the welterweight division and begin to assert himself. But according to his words, he was outgrowing the division. We'll see, because things are going to be quite different at super welterweight for him. But in the meantime, these two men are fighting for that belt that he held on to with a death-like grip. Now, we'll see if one of these men can tune in the type of performance that will elevate their status. I'm willing to believe that it can happen, but you just never know in the sport of boxing. But what do you think? This is Stormy B-Man. Shout out to the mighty LDBC and Liberated Perspective, a third eye view of the world. For more content such as this, please like, comment, subscribe, and share. Let me know your thoughts about this rematch between Donovan and Crocker. And do you think that Crocker could actually win it? Or is he destined to be on the losing end? Leave comments and let's discuss further. Peace to everyone out there, and everyone please remain safe.